Butch walked closer to Malik, continued shouting racial slurs and grabbed him by the shoulder, but Malik punched him right in the... You ever watch something happen and know instantly you'll never forget it? That's what this is. I didn't know the kid personally, but the moment I saw what went down, I knew I was watching something that mattered. This happened at a high school just outside Columbus, a mostly white suburb. Clean streets, brand new football field, and a whole lot of folks who claim to be not racist, but sure act different when nobody's looking. The school got a new student that semester, a 14-year-old black kid named Malik Carter. Slim, sharp eyes, quiet, but not timid. The kind of kid who didn't talk unless he had something worth saying. He kept his head down, walked like he had a destination, and never made a scene. But that didn't stop them. They always find someone. And this time, it was Buchanan Butch Miller and his crew. Butch was 15, built like he was held back a year or two, blonde buzz cut, wore boots even on gym days. Always had that look, like everything he said was supposed to be funny, even when it wasn't. He had 3 boys that followed him around: Ryan, Chase, and Dylan. Same mold, loud, dumb, and proud of it. The first time they saw Malik was during 3rd period, by the lockers. Malik was just unpacking, moving slow, taking things out one by one, setting up like he'd done it 100 times before. Calm, focused. And that bothered Butch. See, Butch liked reactions. He lived off them. And when Malik didn't look scared, didn't rush, didn't even acknowledge him, that was like a slap to the ego. So Butch stepped up. "Hey," he said loud, fake cheerful. "Looks like the janitor's kid finally made it to class." His boys laughed. Not because it was funny, because they were supposed to. Malik didn't look up, just kept arranging his books. Butch stepped closer. "I said, what's up, boy? You deaf or just dumb?" Still nothing. That's when Butch leaned in and said it. Loud, sharp, meant to sting. "Well, maybe if you weren't so damn dark, you'd be able to see your locker." The hallway went quiet. Real quiet. A couple of kids froze. One girl near the water fountain turned her head away. No one said anything, but they heard it. Malik finally looked up. No anger, no fear, just this calm, steady look. The kind that said, "I see you, and I'm not impressed." He shut his locker, turned slightly, and said, "You done?" Butch blinked. "What did you say?" Malik repeated, slow. "I said, are you done?" Butch smirked. "Nah, I think we're just getting started." Then he shoved him, right there in the middle of the hallway. It wasn't a huge push, but it was meant to prove a point. Malik stumbled back a step, adjusted his stance, and without hesitating snapped forward. One jab, clean, straight to the nose. Butch's head whipped back like a rag doll. Blood flew instantly. He hit the lockers behind him and dropped, hard. For a second, nobody moved. Then Ryan charged in. Bad idea. Malik pivoted, ducked, landed a body shot that knocked the wind out of him. Ryan dropped to one knee, choking. Chase froze. Dylan hesitated, fists clenched. But when Malik took one step forward, he backed off. That was it. 3 on 1, and none of them lasted more than 10 seconds. The hallway was dead quiet now. Everyone saw, and nobody said a word. Malik adjusted his backpack like nothing happened, wiped a smudge of blood off his sleeve, then walked away. Not ran, not shouted, just walked. They didn't even call the office. Nobody snitched. Because deep down, every single kid there knew what they'd seen. It wasn't a fight, it was a reckoning. Butch didn't show up for school the next 2 days. When he came back, his nose was crooked and his confidence was gone. He didn't look at Malik, didn't speak when he walked by. Hell, he didn't even look up. And his crew? Same thing. When Malik walked through the cafeteria, they went quiet. When he passed them in the hallway, they moved. And when they saw him by the lockers, they made sure to be somewhere else. After that hallway moment, something shifted in the entire school. Not just in Butch's crew or the kids who saw it. I mean everybody. You know how schools are. Word spreads fast. By the end of the day, everyone had heard that Butch got dropped like a sack of bricks, that his boys tried to jump a new kid and got folded like laundry. But that wasn't even the part people talked about the most. It was how Malik didn't brag, didn't laugh, didn't film it, didn't say a single word he didn't need to say. Because when you're right, really right, the silence speaks louder than any punch ever could. And trust me, they heard him. The next morning, Malik walked in just like before. Same calm, same steps, same backpack slung over one shoulder. But the air around him was different. People moved out of his way without thinking. Teachers glanced up when he walked in, like they'd read the story without anyone telling it. And the racists? They were quiet now. Butch showed up late to homeroom, head down, nose still crooked. He didn't sit with his boys, didn't smirk, didn't exist the way he used to. When Malik walked in and took the seat 2 rows behind him, Butch actually flinched, like just being nearby made him feel exposed. And you know what? That was justice, not revenge. Justice. Because here's what nobody ever admits, not out loud anyway. People like Butch, they don't expect you to fight back. They count on your silence. They get bold because they think their last name or their daddy's pickup truck gives them a license to humiliate whoever's not like them. But the second you flip the script, not by screaming, not by begging, but by standing in it, they crumble. They fall apart because their power only worked if you stayed small. Malik didn't stay small. He walked taller after that, sure. But he didn't strut. He didn't need to. He had nothing to prove. He already proved it. That week, 3 other black students, kids who had stayed on the edge of things, who kept to themselves to avoid trouble, started sitting near Malik at lunch. Not to ride his coattails, just for the safety of being close to someone who didn't blink in the face of hate. One of them, a kid named Terrence, even said out loud, "Man, you made them shut up. I ain't never seen that happen before." Malik just shrugged. "I didn't do it for that." But everyone knew. The school tried to act like nothing happened. No office announcement. No anti-bullying email. Just silence. The same silence they always fall back on when racism doesn't come with slurs they can discipline. But the hallways were different now. Before, the walls whispered jokes behind locker doors, the kind of jokes that were just jokes until someone cried about it. Now, you could feel hesitation, like they weren't sure who might clap back, like Malik's name carried weight. Even the teachers shifted. Mrs. Reynolds, white, soft-spoken, never said a thing when Butch made cracks during presentations. She started calling on Malik more, started asking him real questions, started listening when he spoke. And Mr. Harris, the black science teacher who always kept his head down to avoid rocking the boat? He gave Malik a nod one day. No words, just respect. One black man to one black boy. That meant something. Even I, a grown man, looking back on it now, remember thinking, this kid changed the temperature in the whole damn building. And the best part? He didn't say a thing, because sometimes the strongest voice is the one that doesn't yell. Now don't get me wrong, racism didn't vanish. It never does. It just got a little quieter, a little more afraid, a little less sure of itself. Because now, there was someone walking the halls who had shown them all. You can be calm and dangerous. You can be young and fearless. You can be the wrong person to mess with, even if you've only been in town for a week. And Malik, he just kept going. Books in hand, knuckles heeled, eyes forward. Butch and his boys, they never tried anything again. Not just with Malik, with anybody. They stopped saying jokes in class, stopped whispering slurs behind backs, stopped being the center of every hallway. Because now, they were shadows. And Malik, he was a presence.